Today, Monday, May 11th. Okay, we're recording. And we are recording. We do have a quorum. Introductions, not necessary. I don't believe you don't need them for the recording, right?
Nope, I am good.
Okay. As I have called the meeting to order. I think we're 5:36. And first thing on the agenda is to approve the agenda for today. Do I have a motion to approve the agenda?
So moved.
Second.
Thank you, Bob. Thank you, Larry. All in favor to approve the agenda, please say aye. Raise your hand.
Aye.
Aye. Thank you. How about approval of April 13th meeting minutes? If you've taken a look at them, any need for any changes, corrections, or I will entertain a motion to approve the minutes.
Motion to approve the minutes.
I'll second.
Thank you, Larry. Thank you, Bob. All in
Where's
favor
Sharon?
to approve the minutes? Please
Aye.
say aye. Aye. I see no public, so we will move right on to the financials for March 2026.
All right. Still pumped up there. Can't get the color bar to go away.
Hate that when that happens.
Right, every time. Okay, so the March 2026 P&L reflects a net income of almost 212,000. And again, that's high from the fourth quarter and last quarter ACCD invoice. Come back up here. On the revenue side, all towns have paid their dues, so 402 is paid in full. 403 also paid in full minus the retainage. Actually, why we're seeing a 95% is the public transfer tax is down. So as a result, RPCs were given a standard reduction across all RPCs. It was the fund was about 100,000 less than what we're expecting. So spread amongst all the RPCs, it was about $10,000 per RPC. Not great, but something we can easily absorb currently. We are looking at a 3% increase on the base of 2026 as of now in the governor's budget. So, the wild card being the property transfer tax has still got to be able to fund the fund. So hopefully we won't run into this again next mid-year at the Budget Adjustment Act time.
We don't have to do a coin drop.
No coin drops, no. We'll be able to absorb it either way, but let's hope that stays high. 417 is low because we're really kicking up the Department of Labor work. We expect it to be under budget. However, with Freddie on board, we're billing to that very consistently now. Special projects is low and will end under budget. MTAP and TOD both ended under budget. And then CPRG and water quality will likely kick up the last couple months of the year. Expense side, line 537, same thing, high due to credit card points. Line 550 is high because we're capturing 10 months of rent. Line 553A, grant disbursements high because we've invoiced for the 604B activity that was closed in December. It's a wash on the P&L because these are pass-throughs. Line 560, it's high. Insurance is paid through the year. 565 is again high from the Dell agreement for equipment. Oh, hey.
Sorry.
You're okay.
Hi,
I
Erica.
did not see your email till late, so we don't have any food. I'm sorry.
That's right. I apologize. I've been with family matters.
No, it's all good.
93-year-old mother. What can I tell you?
Yeah, doing your part. Accounts receivable as of 3/31/26, that totaled 487,500. As of today, that's down to 233,000. So, in April, the finance assistant took on more grant billing responsibilities and entries in QuickBook, including but not limited to invoice preparation and journal entries, all with the finance manager MK's oversight. Since the current adopted financial policy recognizes some of these items as only the finance manager's role, and the finance policy may not be ready for another update until September, the auditor just advised that I concur with the delegation of duties and that we notify the board of this change. So minor change overall. There's no decision-making authority with it, but we're trying to give Anna Maria more responsibility to sort of free the burden from Mary Kay. So I think we have a pretty good system developing. Like we referenced, we will be bringing a more thorough finance procedural update in September, but not one for the annual meeting.
It was a plan from day one.
It's the plan from day one. Yeah.
Make it easier on them, right?
Yep, exactly. And we have so many agreements right now. It's unrealistic to think that we can carry that with just one full time. So overall, we're looking good. We've done the cash flow year end. We'll be definitely ending in the black, and maybe so much so that we may be actually able to add to the fund balance, which we haven't been able to add to in the last few years. Last year we had a good chunk, but the Beamer's journal entry sucked all that up. So we're in good shape, and considering where we're at this year, we had to defer some of the revenue to FY27 just because we didn't have the manpower. Being down 3 planners for 4 months, we're just not at the billing volume that we typically are at. So that's not a bad thing that we have more revenue next year, but it will require us to be on our toes to be able to spend it down. The big wild card, of course, being now we're hearing that we may get our emergency management planning grant funds from the feds. I will not count my chickens until that agreement's in hand. But if so, then that would be an additional 50,000 to our revenue that we weren't planning for. So we could be looking at adding another planner next year, but we're still working on the budget. And until we have that agreement in hand from Vermont Emergency Management, we're not going to budget for that money. So overall, we're in pretty good shape.
Very good.
Check in with other RPCs at some point to see how they're doing. If they're finishing in the black, the red. You don't know where that's.
Oh, yeah. Every so we meet monthly, and we typically talk about this stuff. It seems as though my impression, and maybe it's just based on folks' level of caution and unease about certain uncertainty in the future, but I feel as though we're in a pretty strong position. I've heard other PCs sort of worry about revenue next year, but our revenue looks extremely strong. So maybe it's just they have some more federal grants that may be going away. One thing I think that is really helpful for me to know as a newer planner, at our last staff meeting, one of the longest standing directors, 25 plus years, said, I've been doing this for 25 years and I always see that the next year's revenue is good and the following year there's not as much. But every year that following year fills in every year. So if that's the case for the last 25 years, I have no reason to believe that the floor is going to drop out. Knock on my words, we can always review the recording if I am incorrect, but I'm feeling pretty good and that we're able to retain staff with some moderate increases this next year and maybe even go after some new revenue sources. So feeling pretty good overall.
Good. Any other questions on the financials?
No, I
Let's
guess
move on.
the only other element I'll add is, we're working on the budget now and
Mhm.
expect a fairly long June executive finance committee meeting to go through the work plan, the budget, the policy update. We're hoping light on the policy updates, no major handbook revisions, no changes to bylaws, no changes to financial procedures. So hopefully it won't be as big of a lift as last year. So
Thank you. All right, let's move on to executive director's report. That would be you, Devin.
yes, indeed. It's light tonight because I haven't prepared it yet for next week's meeting. But today Drew started our last planner in the door, and he's taking over for Barbara's former work as the natural resources planner. So we had an onboarding day for him. I think he's going to be a great fit, and Will and Freddie are onboarding well and already doing work in their respective program areas. So I think we're really going to start to catch some traction over the next few months and be back up to full speed by hopefully midsummer. So I feel like we're in really good shape. I think all three are going to be really good fits and are working out so far. So that's the number one piece of exciting news from our shop. Senate Bill 325, which is the Act 181 revisions, are going to conference committee for the House and the Senate. Who knows what will happen in conference committee? There may be additional amendments. However, I think the core is likely to remain, which is a total repeal of tier 2 and tier 3. So there are no more tiers. It would really just be 1A, 1B, and then nothing else. And then some other important aspects and a streamlined amendment process for regional plans. A lot of the language got cleaned up relevant to certain sort of statutory contradictions around land use areas. So overall, I think it's completely changed the tenor of our work and the tone with our towns. I was even, I was with Laura last week in Shrewsbury at their select board to talk about Act 181 and some issues they were thinking about. And again, all of the issues were around misinformation or a lack of information. So I think that was pretty successful, Laura, and that was the last town on my list to reach before our vote next week. So I'd love to hear from you all if you have any concerns about our commissioners voting next week.
Yeah, one of the things is the misinformation you talked about. And coming on the western side of Rutland County, there's misinformation out there with no research into it all. So hopefully, people understand, this came from the legislature in 2024, and all of a sudden now it's an issue, probably never should have happened to begin with, but just as long as they get the message that it's not, in our case, Rutland Regional Planning Commission, that's, it's not our act, it was not our law. So it's with interpretation from LRRP. So hopefully that message has gone out.
Yeah.
And we're waiting to hear from the legislature.
Yeah, and at this point, I haven't heard from any commissioners indicating that they will vote against adoption. Barring maybe a couple of usual suspects, but otherwise, carrying the 60% vote needed to adopt the plan next week, I'm feeling pretty confident at this point, which I think is a testament to the work the board has put in over 3 years. And I think they see this as just another step in the process, not some big sort of thing, but what we've been leading up to this whole time, you know?
Is the motion just to adopt the 2026 Rutland Regional Plan? As
Yeah.
simple as that?
It'll be that, and then to authorize the Regional Planning Commission to submit to the Land Use Review Board for approval. So that's the other step.
Mhm.
So but the motion will be just that, those two elements. We should be good. So we can expect that, I don't, what's interesting with final hearings versus the first public hearing is, we won't have a big presentation going through the same full scale, development process that we did at the first public hearing. We are not feeling as though we should start at square one at the final public hearing, but rather build on the hearings and engagement that have been done to date. So there will be a short presentation.
Mhm.
And obviously it will be open to the public, but I'll defer to you guys as to how far and how open we allow that conversation to go. With that, given that tier 2 and tier 3 will be repealed or are in process of being repealed, that was 95% of the conversation at the first public hearing. So I'm not sure what we would be talking about, but I think being prepared to field any of those questions will be important.
Have you received all of the opt-ins that you expect for tier 1B and 1A? And is that date still, I know that the 325 has some amendments that allow minor amendments, such as changing your opt-in, your tier 1A, B opt-in out status, I think.
Yeah,
In the
so
future,
we have not received all of the tier 1B resolutions that we're anticipating. I have notified all those towns that are eligible and informed them and reminded them several times of the date, and we are willing to accept those resolutions right up until the moment we adopt.
okay.
So I believe there's a few outliers left. Proctor being one of them. I think Wallingford did do theirs and are all set. So it's only a couple.
Mhm.
Mendon, they were still contemplating. I'm not sure if they're going to do it or not. So there's a couple left, but the big core towns have submitted their resolutions. So
Mhm.
I think we're in pretty good shape there.
And once when S325 passes, that will change the law and will allow our regional plan to do minor amendments per that law. Correct?
Yeah, so it just changes the process. We'd still technically be allowed to do those amendments ahead of time. It just would be a much more laborious, lengthy process to amend. So
Okay.
yeah, we have been telling towns, and I want to hold firm to this, that we're willing to consider an amendment this fall after towns have had a chance to deal with any of the prerequisite issues like town plans in Benson and Pittsford that are currently
right.
expired. Yeah, those are the
Right.
two
I
that
read
are.
that one, yeah.
The other town that I suspect could be a lot late addition would be Castleton, who voted to opt out based on tier 2 and road rules. So if those
Right.
are enacted, then I could see them coming back around too. So that would be two of our bigger towns added back in, which I think would be important.
Yep.
But that'll be up to them. Ultimately, I know Pittsford wants it definitively. I'm not sure about Castleton, but
Yep.
I will do my level best to make sure that everyone has ample time and information to be able to make that decision. Because I think it's worthwhile reconsideration for at least Castleton.
Yep. Just, it's not a question. I'll just give you the kind of story of, again, you see how this, what people don't know. So, Shrewsbury, they should opt out. And I thought I had heard people say, yeah, we're going to opt out. But nothing is in any meeting minutes of our select board saying so. So it's just kind of up in the air. And to me, it just kind of continues sort of a lack of knowledge of our regional plan and, what the tier 1 and 2s mean. Important, I think, for our select board to know, but really important, I think our zoning administrator and our DRB should know.
Yeah.
And I contacted them, say, hey, you guys, just wanted to know, I'm assuming you want to opt out. Wouldn't you like to just contact the select board and have them just say it in the meeting minutes? So it's just like done. And they were both like, I'm not really sure I know what those mean. I was surprised. Our ZA, I think she does know, but she still had questions. And our DRB said he really was a bit clueless. So we're having coffee on Wednesday morning, a rainy day, to chit chat about it.
I would definitely encourage you to push them towards some of our online resources too.
Exactly.
Our YouTube channel has some good Act 181 basics on there. But, I think for me, it's just reaffirms that there's no substitute for me being in the room. What happened last week on Wednesday, for me to be able to sit down and have a conversation with the town and answer their questions directly. I can send memos until my fingers fall off from typing, and I still can't guarantee that they'll be read or understood or shared. But that's a concern because I can't be everywhere.
Right.
And with such a big region. So, Aaron did bring up, and right, wrong, or indifferent, I appreciate the perspective. The select board chair in Shrewsbury, and we're just using this as the example because it's been the most recent, but he did make some comments that he thought we could do a better job in our outreach and engagement. And I did push back a little and said, we underwent the biggest engagement effort we had ever done. And could we do more with an unlimited budget and an unlimited capacity? Yeah. But at the same time, it does make me wonder and question, are there techniques or resources that we're not leveraging? So, I'm excited to talk about this specifically in our strategic planning effort next year and figure out, is our communication strategy the right strategy? Or not? And it might be, and we just might find that you can't force people to read and pay attention at all times. And there's a lot of noise out there to compete with. So, I think it's worth a conversation at, the board and staff level. But we aren't going to fix the problems of the world ourselves. So
I agree.
Maybe it's just about understanding the towns that may have more challenge with deciphering that information and trying to find a way to get to them more intentionally. That's something we could look at.
Right.
But overall, in terms of the regional plan, I think things are pretty straightforward at this point. The plan is set. The information is out there. Our warnings are complete. We're just seeking a vote at this point. And then by the end of next week, we will make the submission to the Land Use Review Board. we know that Rutland City is very eager to get our plan approved so they would like to be the first city in Vermont to apply for tier 1A status. And I think that'd be a real feather in our cap if we could support that effort. So we've already given them their map package, and we're trying to support them in that application. So yeah, the land use review board will have 60 days to make that determination. But at this point, should be no surprises. You know, they've already reviewed our plan and our map, and I think things are looking pretty good.
What's that timeline? So once we submit it to the LRRP, is there a window there?
60 days.
60 days.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hoping for less.
Less, yeah.
But we have to compete there's several pre-application plans that are being submitted around the same time. So, and then Chittenden County their meeting adoption hearing is the day after ours. So they'll be submitting their plan as well. So
right after the meeting, after it's approved, you're going to go and submit it, right?
yeah,
Hit the button.
yeah, we are submitting immediately. So exciting stuff. I think overall, you know, we'll plan an hour for the hearing, and then I'll try to keep the rest of the meeting agenda pretty light. Because obviously June is a long one. So
Good.
that's all I have for executive director's report and regional plan report. Kind of molded the two together there.
Yep. Sounds good. Are your new planners on your website, by the way? I haven't looked.
Not yet, because we
Will?
need to do some headshots and the weather has not been.
Don't.
I think they're up there without headshots at the moment,
Okay,
except for Drew. Drew would have been added today if it got done today.
got it.
So
Just
by
curious.
by the end of the week, we should have them up there.
It's good. Okay,
Awesome.
what's next is the May Board of Commissioners agenda. Anything else to bring up? You just mentioned that yes, we're gonna have the hearing and then we'll have a short
Yes.
Board of
So
Commissioners agenda.
two things. So one, there is a regional committee. We still have the leftovers
Oh,
from
yeah.
last meeting.
And
Good.
we have the VTEX.
And the what?
VTEX, the communication sovereign.
Yeah, that's part of that list.
I
Yeah.
know.
So we'll have at minimum 3 Section 248 applications to review. I have not pulled down that 250 list, but I'd be shocked if we have another major application. The other element that we need to address tonight is, believe it or not, because of the June meeting around the corner, we need a nominating committee.
Oh,
So last year, I believe, Drea, you were chairing that nominating committee.
Yes, I was.
Is that something you'd want to do again?
I can.
yoo-hoo, we love it. You're the best.
There's nothing in our bylaws stating a member of the executive committee
Nope.
cannot, chair.
It
Yeah.
doesn't specify who, I think technically the board chair appoints the nominating committee,
Yes. 3 members.
3 members.
Yeah.
So it'd be great to have some at-large board members participate. I think Dick Horner might have helped last year. Is that right?
Yeah, I think Dick and David Allaire.
Okay. Do you want me to see if I can get those two to do it again?
Sure.
Dave might be the challenge given his
Yeah.
board responsibilities. So
I know last time, like we met just quickly before a meeting and took care of it.
yeah. Yeah, right now everyone's eligible to return as is.
With the exception of me.
Why?
This is my 3rd year. I'm done.
Oh, that's your 3rd year.
My bylaws, I can't serve 3 years in one
Mhm.
consecutive position, so
Okay.
Yeah.
So
need a treasurer.
need a treasurer, and it's got to be somebody local.
Yeah, because
that can pop into the
during
office.
business hours, yeah.
I'm thinking that could be, it could be Anne Reed. She's local and around from Pittsford. It could be Jim Marsh from Rutland Town. He's around a lot and local. Proctor, who's our proctor rep? Dick Horner.
Dick Warner.
Is there county two rep right now? We don't have them. And then the other option is some sort of reconfiguration of our current makeup. You know, like jockeying the executive committee around a little bit, like we did 2 years ago.
Mhm. Larry, what did you say? You can be on exec committee longer than 3 years. Did you mean 3 terms? What is it? I've been on for 3 years, right? I think. Maybe not.
This
Yeah,
will
yeah.
be your, this will be, it's only 3 years in one executive position.
Yeah, so our
Oh, okay.
bylaws, terms of office,
Got
no officer or other elected official may serve more than 3 consecutive terms in any one office. And I started March 21st, 2023. It's actually 3 years, 3
As
months.
treasurer, right.
The only other
Unless you change the
option,
bylaw.
I was just gonna say, amend the bylaws, you know, do we feel like that is something that we wanna keep? Or if that should be limited to just the chair role? Cause to me, that would make sense. That the chair would rotate, but
Right.
That's why we have 3 years, because they got me on for a 3rd year without me seeing what they were doing. Yeah, that's where it
Yeah.
came from, yeah.
yeah,
You might have been involved in that too, I don't know.
I don't recall.
Yeah, you don't recall, yeah, I can either confirm or deny.
I had nothing to do with it. I just chaired the committee.
No,
just
Frankly, I think that makes sense.
the terms of office of. Oh, that's wrong. The terms of all officers and elected officials shall begin on the first day of the month following the meeting at which they are declared elected. Shall end June 30 of the following year or until their successors have been elected and installed. No officer or other elected official may serve more than 3 consecutive terms in any one office.
Terms.
I should do.
So what is the treasurer 1 year term?
No, they're 3 years. Well, they are 1 year terms, but only 3 successive
Yeah.
1 year terms.
have to be elected every year.
Yeah, that means you've got 2 more years, Laura.
If,
know.
yeah. Should you decide, yeah.
I was
Should you decide-
shocked
Yeah,
a few weeks
Letter-
ago when
letter of
someone
consent.
reminded me, no, you're on till 2028. What?
That's how I
Okay.
get on the select board in Mendon for 9 years. And I never filled out an application. They did it for me. They gave me a phone call. Congratulations, you're running unopposed. No, I'm not. Yes, you are.
They tried that with a friend of mine.
No, they get devious.
Yeah.
So I'm looking at some other RPC bylaws. They don't have that provision in them on term limits.
Yeah, Otter Creek, we have no term limits. I'm chair
Mhm.
forever
For life, yeah,
until I drop dead.
Otter Creek.
Oops.
I see it in 2 ways. I see that there's value in cycling folks
Yeah.
through,
True. Yeah.
but I also see the challenge in getting folks to commit to that is a challenge.
It can be pulling teeth sometimes in the past of getting people on the executive committee.
Treasurer and the chair are the two most active positions. Because we need a second signer on anything above $5,000, and the chair is the chair. Well, what's your will? The will of the board to strike the provision or to seek? Could also do both, right?
What's the provision for changing the bylaws at any meeting, right?
Yeah, well, it would be customary for us to do it at the June meeting,
Well, yeah,
so that would be fine. And the bylaw change would just happen before the election of officers.
so what's the change? How would you,
We would scrap that line at the bottom.
3 consecutive.
3 consecutive terms?
Yeah.
Okay. Geez, I thought it was down to 1 meeting.
Does that mean I have to be the chair forever?
No. You have to run for election every year and get your lawn signs up.
Oh, wait, no, look at. This one says the treasurer and this other regional planning commission, maximum of 6 terms. And then the officers, a maximum of 3 consecutive terms.
Yeah. I've been on boards before where the position of treasurer is not limited because of the learning curve and things involved in it.
Yeah, I like
That's
that
pretty
idea.
good.
Switch it around.
I do too.
Yeah.
6 years for the officers.
It would be, this says 3 years for the officers, 6 years for the treasurer.
For the
And I'm-
treasurer.
Yeah, and I'm saying, why not just say 6 years, period?
Oh, so do the congressional. Isn't it a senator term, 6 years?
The technicality is you're up for election each year. It's always
Yeah,
up to the
yeah,
board of
it's always up to
commissioners.
the
It's
board.
not like you're appointing someone for a 6-year term.
Right.
Yeah.
Well,
Well, 1-year term,
Right.
6
6
consecutive.
consecutive, you cannot serve more than 6 consecutive years in one position, if that's what you're saying.
And I would
Yeah.
strike the word consecutive. In other words, okay, what happens, say, for example, the treasurer, the treasurer leaves and the vice chair wants to step into the treasurer's, or vice versa. Why not? Why not have, like, if Laura can take it for 6 years, why not? If you can take it for 6 years, why not?
yeah, you can. I mean, as that is written now, it's just saying that like you still are annually reelected,
But only for 3 years.
only for 1 year.
1 year.
No. What I'm
Mhm.
saying is, doesn't it say that you can only serve 3 consecutive years in one position?
Right.
And I'm saying 6 years in one position.
Yeah, I think we're saying the same thing. Ultimately, this is your decision. I am indifferent.
Of course, you might get stuck with a chair that you don't want.
Well, then you don't elect them.
No, but yeah, you,
I think you,
Right.
you guys are
That's gonna happen.
you guys are the limiting
And-
force
and
there.
and a chair or a treasurer can decline to accept a nomination. too.
Exactly, yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
after a while, if you get tired of it.
We've just, really want
Yeah. Well, Laura can tell you, I think it probably takes at least a year to 2 years even to get totally up to speed on all the elements. Sure, running a meeting, you could do that the next day, but in terms of the ins and outs of the organization, it takes a while.
Yeah. Learning curve.
Yeah.
But on the other hand, I like the idea of a limit. For the simple reason that, just like we have problems in the current administration in DC,
Like-
then you get one person who's been doing it for so long, it becomes do it my way or the highway type thing.
Yeah, no one wants to step forward to do it. Yeah.
Yeah,
to,
so,
and it forces, I don't want to say forces, but kind of forces, other people to take a role.
Mhm.
I would say just increase it
Go
to
to
6,
6 years.
just go to 6 years. And it doesn't mean that you can't step down on a position and then,
Somebody can always run against you from the floor
Yeah.
as well.
yeah,
Yeah,
Oh, for sure.
I mean,
Yeah,
geez,
yeah,
that would
yeah.
be the best problem we had.
yeah,
if there
that's like,
was
that's gonna happen.
competition. Okay. So is that the will for me to draft?
I will make
Yeah.
a motion that we draft a amendment, change, whatever is necessary.
I don't think we need a motion technically, because we're not gonna vote on anything
Okay, good.
until next month. It would just be telling me, hey, Devin, prepare this.
Well, Laura, you're the chair.
Mhm.
Would it be better to do this, the bylaw change next month and not throw it at them in June and then have an election?
I frankly would say that would be the better way to go.
What do you mean? June is the election.
Yes, but have, next week's Board of Commissioners, a bylaw change, then presented to them. Instead of throwing it all on June, bylaw change, and then, or is that too soon?
I don't think it's too soon because they wouldn't have seen the bylaw change ahead of time anyways. Even if it's in June, they're still getting it the week ahead of time.
Okay.
The one thing is they vote on recommendations from you all. So if you tell me that, if you do make the motion and say the bylaw change is limited to just this provision, which I can even give you the provision, we could do it that way of,
But it also,
Section 804 terms of service to be updated to reflect 6 consecutive terms instead of 3 consecutive terms.
but it also more or less, in my mind, would eliminate the Tammany Hall appearance of, okay, we're gonna change it for 6 years because we want to keep Larry.
Mhm.
You know, you change it and then you vote him in immediately. It's too,
Versus spreading them out over 2 months.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean,
because that way, if you change it and somebody thinks about it and says, well, you know, I really want to be chair or something, then it gives them time to reflect on it. And hey, you may serve for the next 6 years. It's to me, I don't like bylaw changes like that. And then it just doesn't.
You're right, it just, you're throwing it at them and what's going on here with it,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm just not thinking straight today. But yeah, it almost looks like we're trying to cover
Yeah.
something, and we're not.
I'm gonna
So like
throw
you say-
one more
Yep.
wrench in the works, which is we have talked about over the last couple of years an intentional strategy to bring more new faces onto the executive committee, like Treya did.
Exactly.
And, is this an opportunity to do so? I think generally I support that. However, there are real logistical concerns about not having a very accessible, sorry, Larry, but like, you're the most successful treasurer. And often when we need signature. Like, it can't be like, hey, 2 weeks from now, can you pop in? It's like, hey, we need you to pop in like in the next 2 days or even today. You get the call from MK and it's just the way of the world. Like, sometimes invoices and the way the mail has been working, things are on tight turnarounds. So
Yeah, one incident where I was in here signing checks and got home and got another text, hey, could you come back in?
mhm.
Yeah.
So that can't be somebody from
So-
Mount Holly. As much as I would love that to be true,
Yeah,
it makes it really hard.
and you have 3 individuals, officers that can sign,
Yes,
just in case someone can't,
chair, vice chair.
Yep.
Treasurer, which is great.
but it's still,
And Dave is close, Laura's not
Well-
close, although she has come in
Yeah.
on schedule before,
but Dave is working, so he has to wait till
right after.
after hours.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, so-
our real concern is the treasurer position.
Yeah,
Yeah, so maybe we should just do that one.
just limit the bylaw
Make-
change to treasurer. So that would
Yeah.
model Northwest's bylaws, which call out the treasurer specifically as the 6-year term.
And
And
if
then
somebody asks,
encourage more new faces on our executive committee.
And the treasurer just explaining the learning curve, and
exactly,
you have to learn every account, not just sign.
Yeah,
And you have to
Right.
be local and, there's like a few things.
and does Dave, we should definitely, since he's not here, ask Dave and see if he still wants to serve on the vice chair role. I'm sure he has no problem doing that, but
Right.
Drea, I am thinking about you though, and typically the vice chair is a feeder to the chair role. I can't imagine Dave wanting to be chair on top of Board of Aldermen president, so I am wondering, would a switch of Drea and Dave be wise? So Drea can shadow Laura. This is Laura's last year as chair.
no, it's not.
No, she had 2 years.
No,
2
we
years?
have another.
Oh, perfect. So maybe,
Yeah.
but I still think that logic holds true, that
Yeah.
we should be thinking about the vice chair as the successor generally to the chair.
It's really a sentence, isn't it?
One.
Yeah.
Position, we sentence you to 3 years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. And I do think there's some other younger, or newer commissioners that may consider a leadership role in the future.
But we have, you're right, talked about that in the past of getting other members engaged. Yeah.
Yep.
But anyways, at elections in June, there'll be a slate of candidates from the nominating committee, and then Laura opens it up to the floor. So there's your opportunity for anyone that wants to fill any
Mhm.
position.
Yep.
Yep.
So Drea, you and I can chat more offline about nominating committee,
Okay.
but I guess for the rest of the executive committee, what's your pleasure?
Meaning,
But a bylaw amendment targeted at treasurer, or trying to see
Yes.
how Drea does with,
Oh,
really, it would be limited to only a few options based on proximity.
I think you have to open it up for treasurer because 2 years is not enough, or 3 years is not enough. I mean, I'm talking from my Rotarian experience. I took over 3 years ago, and I'm still finding accounts that nobody ever talked about and hasn't been used in 5 years, and the other treasurer was treasurer for 10 years.
Mhm.
So, no, it takes 2 to 3 years before you find the accounts. And I know MK's fantastic and all of that, and I'm not accusing anything.
Yeah.
In my experience, you can't really become the treasurer for at least the first 2 years to really know everything.
Yeah.
Totally.
And then previously I got 25 years in, I'm on my 26, so
Yeah,
there's not much.
Yeah.
That I don't
Exactly.
know, yeah.
exactly.
But
So, and I think the idea of maybe the vice chair coming on, yes, definitely. Because it takes at least a year to figure out everything you're gonna be doing, right, Laura?
And then
Yeah.
3 years as
but
chair,
I guess.
it's a long time. You're
And
ready, you're ready to
tired.
step down after,
I do agree. Yeah,
Yeah,
you're
3 years.
ready.
Oh, yeah, yeah. I mean, it's
Yeah, I
fun.
wouldn't like to do more than
It-
3 years,
yeah.
frankly.
Yeah, it's fun and you get to contribute and it's great. But at the end of 3 years, I don't care how old you are, you're tired.
and it used to
Take
be,
a break.
we changed it. If you were chair for 3 years, then you
You're next
became
officio.
immediate past chair
Yeah.
for as long as the next chair was in there. So you had another 3 years to stay on the board.
Yeah.
But we got away with that.
But the nice thing about that is you could just sort of advise.
Yeah.
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 So,
Okay, so the motion we'd be looking at is a motion to recommend to the full board amending section 804 of the RRPC bylaws to extend the term of service of treasurer to 6 consecutive years.
And are you planning on doing that in this next week?
Mhm.
Planning here, this right, I'll throw it at them.
Yeah, I
In
think
the
that's-
June meeting
I
right
think that's
before,
fair.
yeah.
Yeah, I,
Kind of looks like, yeah.
yeah, it looks like you're trying to,
Game the system.
thank you, yes.
And really, it's just logistics at the
Yeah,
end of
and
the
then
day.
an explanation as to why.
Yeah, I can write a
Yeah.
memo
Yeah.
attached to the bylaw change.
Yeah. And if there is somebody that thinks that they want to take it over, then they can nominate themselves from the
Absolutely.
floor.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
And I'm quite sure Larry would go here.
I'll campaign for you, yeah. My favorite pen, yeah.
The language of it is odd to me because if it says it's a term, then why do I think, oh, then why do you have to be elected every year?
They're 1-year
Term.
terms.
Yeah, it's the
Okay.
consecutive
So
term.
maybe I
language.
didn't hear what you read exactly.
Yeah,
Okay.
so the
It's a
section,
maximum of
yes,
6 consecutive. Okay.
1-year
that would-
terms.
Okay. So now do we not need any nominating? Because
Yeah.
Erica and
No, we
Bob, you
still-
guys are staying on, or we nominate anyway just to see who wants
Yes.
to join? Okay,
Yeah, because Larry could go home and change his mind.
yeah.
well, that's true.
That's
But now, you have, in Dre's case, a member of the executive committee chairing a nominating committee.
Which
It's that
we-
same,
we did last year.
Yeah.
She just has to abstain from her own nomination, which another
Yeah.
member of the committee will do.
Yeah, because I
I think
chaired and.
we did that
Well, you
last
might-
year, right?
but
you're
I
talking
just
about
wasn't a
switching
member.
things too, right, maybe?
Right.
But
And
that's-
that's conversation.
Your
I'll have to have
conversation you'll have, yeah.
with
Yeah.
Dave. Yeah.
Drea,
say,
can you repeat what you said?
I said last year I was the chair of the nominating committee and then nominated myself. The only difference is now I'm a member of the executive finance committee.
So what you could do is have another nominating committee member actually do the nomination.
Right, okay. Makes sense.
So the motion to recommend to the full board amending section 804 terms of service of the RRPC bylaws to extend the maximum term of treasurer to no more than 6 consecutive years.
That sounds good.
Who's making that motion?
I'll make it.
Thank you. Is there a second?
I should
the motion?
second.
Well, I'll second it.
Thank you, Bob. All in
Good
favor
man,
of the motion?
Commissioner.
Please say
Aye.
aye. Aye.
Cool.
All right, super.
That's all I got.
Thank you. All righty.
It
Well,
took a while.
we can adjourn.
Let's get going.
A little bit of discussion. Hey, we're still under the hour. It's
Yeah.
6:29. And all in favor, motion to, so do I have to do motion to adjourn? No,
You
all
don't,
in favor.
as chair, yeah, you can just adjourn a meeting.
Okay. I hereby adjourn the meeting. You all can still chit chat. I'm gonna go make supper.
I'm gonna go see.
I know Drea's cooking too.
I'm gonna go.
Yes,
keep my
I've
As
been
of
feet up.
making my
6:30.
steak.
All right. Thanks all.
Thank
We'll
you.
see you next week.
Thanks.
Yep.
Bye.